G'day, Westy here. Hey listen, we're just going to do a tutorial on this new wireless simulator that I've just received from Hobby King. And it's just arrived. I've just pulled it out of the box. I haven't opened it yet, so let's just see what's inside. Basically it's supposed to run all these simulators with a wireless so what you are going to need, basically what this will do, it will allow you to run your transmitter that you normally use for your, like in this case I've got my 9X with the ER9X running on it. I'll be able to run this wirelessly through this simulator to run adapter to run my Phoenix or things like that. So I'll try it on Phoenix and see how it goes. So basically you are going to need a wireless receiver for your transmitter. I've got one here from Hobby King also, which is compatible with my 9X radio, my Turnigy 9X. Okay, now they'll come with a bind cable. So let's just see what's inside this. So you will have to bind this to your transmitter to get that to run. We'll do that once we get to the setup stage. Alright, so let's open the box up and see what's inside. Okay, nothing else in there. Great. Alright, so it comes with a set of English and Chinese instructions. So basically, and you've got three sets of cables here. You've got a black, red, white, and then two cables with three connectors at one end, and then they go into three different. So this basically provides you your 6 channels here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then your first channel and power through this one. I've read the instructions, so I'm pretty familiar with how it works. And you've got a cable for jacking into the back of your transmitter, like so, into there. And that plugs into the device. So we'll just get this out of here. So okay, on the back on this here we've got XTR, Real Flight G, Aerofly, PhoenixRC, and we've got two switches on the side. So this top switch is for you basically whatever simulator you're going to run. You want to set that to whichever one you want to run it to. So I'm going to run PhoenixRC, and you can have 3 selections on the bottom switch. So you've got Simbox, wireless, and wire. So we're going to do wireless because that's what we've pretty much bought it for, so that we can go wireless. You don't have to have any cumbersome cables running from you to your simulator, so you can actually get some distance and get used to not being hanging off a cable. Okay, so we'll set that to wireless. You've got a USB cable here. We'll just undo that. Okay, one USB cable. And we've got the jack cable here. We're not going to use that at this stage, but you can use it to plug into your audio basically, sorry, it'll plug into here in this end. Oh, actually, no, this end here will plug into there, and this end here will usually plug into the back of your transmitter where your trainer port is. Okay, but we're not going to use that today. Right, so how do you wire this thing up? Right, so first of all, your USB cable goes into this end here, like so. Right, and it comes with a set of instructions, but on the back here, if you have a look at the instructions here, I'm not too sure if you can see that, but you've got the basically a diagram of this end of your simulator Simbox. Okay, so what it is you've got three rows of pins. The right hand row on that side, you've got a pin 1 and then a plus and a minus. Now that is this cable here. this cable here. Okay, so the red is plus, black is minus, and the white is a signal for channel 1. So this here gets plugged into the right hand side like so. Alright, and this other end will plug into your receiver, and the white will go to the signal end of channel 1 on your receiver. Okay, now you've got two other cables here with three connectors coming out of one end and a single connector at the other end. So this one here, the orange, goes to the top to match your white. Well, I just do it that way because that's how you normally, do your receivers and stuff. And then the second, so that'll provide you channel 2, 3 and 4. And then, so from the bottom up, 2, 3 and 4, just as in here, 2, 3 and 4, and then 5, 6 and 7 if you've got a 7 channel receiver. I've only got a 6, so I can only show you 6. So the brown will be, on the middle row, the brown one will be channel 2, the red one will be channel 3, the orange one will be channel 4, and then you plug in the third cable to complete your 7 channels, but I'm only using 6 of these. And then you've got the brown will be 5, the red will be 6, and the orange, if you've got 7 channels, will be channel 7. Okay, so that's that side sorted out. So what you've got to do now is you've got to bind your receiver, if you've got a new receiver, obviously. So you bind that. So what you do is you get your bind plug, and with the this is an HKTR 6A V2. You plug the bind cable into the battery port. Now we've got to connect this up to channel 1 on this, the white, red and black cable will get plugged into channel 1 on your receiver, and normally the signal line is the one closest to the ramp on the end here. So earth is a black always goes to the back, and the signal wire always goes to the front. So we'll plug that up like that. So your black goes to the bottom, so that will go to the flat, and the signal wire for channel 1 will be up the top there like so. Okay, so we're just going to go into the bind stage for now before we start hooking everything else up. So we're going to plug this into a USB port on your computer, and it should come up with a green light, and you'll see your bind, it's in bind mode because you can see the flashing light in here, and your software should install on your computer. So there's no software disks needed for this. So now what you do now is I'm going to be binding my transmitter to this here. So I'll just hold the bind button in the back, this one here, and then turn the transmitter on, and we'll see what happens. Wait a few seconds. Take the bind button off the back. And the light's gone solid. Okay, so now what we want to do is remove the bind plug, remove the USB here, turn the transmitter off, turn the transmitter on again, and reconnect your USB cable like so. Okay, see how it's flashing now? That means that it is connected correctly. If it's a solid light, it's not going too good. It actually tells you the instructions of what means what in there. So now what we're going to do here, we'll just unplug that for a minute and turn it off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the rest of these channels to the transmitter. If you notice on the cables, there's only one wire coming out of each one of these plugs. So that's going to go into your signal side, or the top rail where the ramp is on this particular receiver, the signal side of your receiver. Okay, so as I told you before, the bottom of this here, so the brown, will be channel 2. If you look at the diagram, it's got 2, 3 and 4 going from the bottom up. So we'll put the brown one into channel 2. into the receiver side at the top. The red is channel 3. Channel 4 is the orange. Plug that into there. And then your right hand side cable, oh sorry, the one on the left when you're looking at the back, is your 5, 6 and 7. So we're only going to use the two bottom ones, so the brown and the red, for 5 and 6, because I've only got a 6 channel receiver. So 5 and 6. Okay, so that's connected up. Leaves your bind cable out, of course. So, and make sure you've got it set it up in whatever. So I'm using it for PhoenixRC, and I'm running it in wireless mode. So the middle setting on that and the bottom setting on the top one. Okay, so we're going to turn our transmitter on just like you would normally with a remote control unit, and this, as you can see, it's not connected in any way to the device. I'm just going to turn on the transmitter. Before I do that though, I'm just going to go into Phoenix just to prove that there's nothing set up in there. So I'm going to double click on PhoenixRC, and as you can see I'm running version 4.0K, which is the latest one, and you can see it says no USB interface connected, so there's no dongle, it can't sense anything, there's nothing else plugged into the thing. I've got nothing plugged into the back of my transmitter. Okay, so I'll just close that again. And so what we'll do, we'll put the transmitter aside, is make sure your transmitter is turned on. Set up a, basically you want to set up a blank configuration. I've actually set my channels up so that they picks up all 6 channels. So the key things to remember here is whatever you're using, you want to have your swash set up type, either swash at nothing, or set up it on 90 degree. I've got mine set on nothing because it works fine. And also when you go into your normal setup of that particular model, go down and make sure that you've got it set for PPM protocol, and I've got mine set for a 6 channel. So everything else you pretty much leave stock standard. In this case I've got a special setup that I've made up for ER9X, and that gives me control of idle up with my idle up switch and my throttle hold, and the other 4 channels obviously are these 4 here. Okay, so that's turned on, remember. So now we're going to plug this in. You'll see a green light come up solid, and then it should start flashing if it's working right, and it does. It's connected fine, and you'll see the solid bind, the light solid on the receiver, meaning it's bound with the transmitter. Okay, so we'll just put that aside a little bit, put the instructions aside here. So now what you want to do is, because you make sure you've got it set up for whichever simulator you're using, obviously the bottom there and the middle one on the wireless mode, and we'll just open up PhoenixRC again. Okay, and we're going to go into, okay, so it's come up with no control profile select. So it's found something, but it there's nothing set up. I've basically deleted everything out of here, so it'll set it up as if you were doing it from scratch. Okay, so it needs to know which sticks, etc. it's going to use on the model. Okay, so basically set your sticks to center stick, like so, both controls. All your switches should be down and up on the, so down on the back and up towards the back of the unit at the top. And we're going to go into system and set up new transmitter. Alright, now go to next, and it does tell you to disable swash plate CPM mixing. If you have this option, you should set the swash type to single servo 90 degree, or disable the CCPM on your transmitters menu. Make sure you've got it in helicopter mode, and you've got your PPM modulation set up as I showed you. Alright, each transmitter is different, so you guys should know how to how to operate your transmitter. If not, follow your manufacturer's instructions. Right, so just go to next, and then make sure your controls are set to default. Make sure your transmitter trims are centralized, so 0 trims on everything and 0 sub trims. And when they go next, make sure you center your sticks, because now it's going to go into calibration mode, and we're going to move one stick at a time each extremity of the stick, and you'll see those channels go up and down, and then the same with the other stick, clockwise and anti-clockwise, to give full range and motion of those sticks. And then go to next, and now we're going to do the switches. So I just use this switch here for throttle up, which moves channel 4 on the calibration, and I just use my normal idle up for the 9X here, and it just operates channel 5. It's regardless, doesn't matter what it sets up. And then go to next, and you should be able to retest all your switches and levers and things, and make sure they're all working. And then go to finish, and this asks you to set up your controls. See if your transmitter's listed in there. Mine's not, because mine's a 10G 9X. So go to next, and then go to next again, and a new profile, I'm going to call mine 10G wireless. I'm going to go to advanced setup, because I'm going to set up both the plane and helicopter settings, and so I'm just going to next here. So basically there'll be nothing mapped here on the right hand side, you'll see. So what you've got to do is you've got to basically figure out which channels do what. So throttle for general will go, it's unmapped, and we'll get basically just move your throttle, and that's moving channel 3, so we'll click down on channel 3 there. Okay, so that starts moving. Right, and the next one I'm going to use here is my helicopter collective pitch, and I'm going to use channel 3 because that's my pitch, my collective pitch. And then your tail rotor, so map that one, so that's your, I'll move my stick from left to right, that's channel 6, so select channel 6. Cyclic pitch, so that means like basically your elevator control on your helicopter, so backwards and forwards on the right stick. So what you want to do here is figure out which one's doing that, so we'll move that operation, and that's channel 2, so we'll go to channel 2. And then cyclic roll, that's not mapped either, so we'll click on the map button and then move the controller for cyclic roll, which is your aileron normally, you know, so left and right on your right stick, and that's channel 1, so select that. Okay, so that should get that all working, and that all working. So I'm going to actually reverse my cyclic pitch, because I'm pretty sure when you go to do that and run it, it will go the opposite way, so I'll just confirm that in a minute. So we want to also set up throttle hold, so click your throttle hold button. I've got this one up here on the back of my switch here, and that operates channel 4. You can see that going up and down, so just select that and then give it a quick test. Yep, and that's working. And then we want to do your idle up. I've got that set up on my idle up switch over here, my function mode switch, and just put that into the middle position and select channel 5 for that on this, in this particular case. Okay, scroll down a little bit more, and with a fixed wing we want to do the engine controls, so we'll just go engine, left engine is channel 3, and right engine will be channel 3 also, because I like to match them up. Left elevator, okay, that's makes the plane go up and down, so left elevator, that's going to be move channel 2. Okay, so that's left elevator. Right elevator will be channel 2 also, so they should be match one another. Basically when you fly your plane, you should see whether that's doing the right way. If it's not, just come in and reverse both of these. So left and right aileron, okay, we need to go left and right on your right stick, so that's channel 1, and channel 1 for the right aileron, and we need to reverse one of those, so I usually do the right aileron, basically, so they should operate, yeah, like that, operate oppositely. Okay, then we've got our rudder. As you remember, that's channel 6, so we'll flick that in. And that's pretty much all I set up for now. You know, you might want to put flaps or something like that on your throttle hold or something like I'll just say I'll do a flap switch on channel 4, and that should be fine for now. So we'll just go finish and finish again, and my controls. Now that's going to come up with a still that you haven't selected anything. Okay, so what we want to do is click on the drop arrow of the custom, and you'll see you've got the configurations here. I'll click on this one here and finish. And now we're going to just do a bit of a test on the controls. And you can see the sticks all moving on the screen. And we'll see if it works. Yep, okay, so we've got basically your cyclics all working correctly, your tail's working sweet as, throttle's working fine. I'll test my idle up if I click the button here, and we'll just flip it over and see if it stays up. Yep. Okay, so we'll take it for a bit of a circuit. Very smooth controls on this 9X. Right, and just bring it in. And we'll just flip it over and make sure we got idle up working good. Yep, that's good. All good. Excellent. Right, well I hope this helped you guys out.